Pay attention to the woman standing beside the gray Honda Civic in the dim corner of the restaurant parking lot. Her name is Kayla Mercer, a 23-year-old college senior who thought she was meeting a charming man she'd been talking to for 2 weeks. Now look at the man leaning against the dark sedan 3 spaces away. His name is Ethan Ward. In exactly 34 minutes, he will walk away from this lot alone, and Kayla's car will be found abandoned 2 days later. This was not a date, it was a trap, and she became her own last witness. Welcome to Last Witness. Subscribe and hit the bell icon for more haunting crime stories that expose how modern technology connects us to both opportunity and danger. At 7:42 p.m. on October 3rd, Kayla Mercer pulled her gray Honda Civic into the back corner of the Olive Branch restaurant parking lot in suburban Milwaukee, Wisconsin. The autumn evening was crisp, and the restaurant's warm lighting spilled out onto the asphalt, creating pools of amber against the gathering darkness. Kayla had chosen this location carefully. It was public, well lit, and she had been here before with friends. Everything about this first date had been planned with safety in mind. For 2 weeks, Kayla had been messaging with a man named Ethan on the dating app Hinge. Their conversations had been easy, natural, filled with shared interests and genuine laughter. He worked in finance, loved hiking, and had recently moved to the Milwaukee area. His profile photo showed a clean-cut, attractive man with an easy smile. Nothing about him raised red flags. He had been respectful, never pushy, and had suggested they meet somewhere public for their first date. "I want you to feel comfortable," he had written. "Your safety matters to me." Those words had meant everything to Kayla. She had done her homework. She had told her roommate Madison exactly where she would be and promised to text by 9 p.m. She had checked Ethan's social media profiles, which all seemed legitimate. She had even done a reverse image search on his photos, though she did not find anything suspicious. Kayla was not naive. She understood the risks of meeting someone from a dating app. But she also believed in giving people a chance, and Ethan had given her every reason to trust him. She stepped out of her Honda, smoothing down her denim jacket and checking her reflection one last time in the side mirror. She was nervous but excited. It had been a while since she had felt genuinely interested in someone. Her phone buzzed in her pocket. A text from Madison. "Good luck. Text me when you get home. Have fun, but stay safe." Kayla smiled and sent back a thumbs-up emoji. Security cameras mounted on the restaurant's exterior captured Kayla walking toward the entrance at 7:47 p.m. The footage, which investigators would review obsessively in the days to come, shows her stride as confident, her expression hopeful. What the cameras also captured, though no one would notice for another 48 hours, was the black sedan that had followed Kayla into the parking lot. It parked 3 spaces away from her Honda, tucked into the shadows between 2 larger vehicles. The driver remained inside, watching. Inside the Olive Branch, Kayla was seated at a booth near the large front windows. The hostess, a college student named Jennifer, would later recall that Kayla seemed happy, but a little nervous. She ordered a glass of water and asked for the Wi-Fi password. Kayla pulled out her phone and sent a quick text to Ethan. "I'm here, at the booth by the window." She waited. 5 minutes passed, then 10. By 8 p.m., Kayla was checking her phone repeatedly, glancing toward the entrance every time the door opened. Ethan was late. That was not necessarily alarming. Traffic happened. Work emergencies happened. Life happened. But Kayla felt a small knot of disappointment forming in her stomach. She had been looking forward to this all week. At 8:17 p.m., her phone buzzed. A text from Ethan's number. "I am so sorry. Got stuck at the office dealing with a crisis. I'm leaving now. Be there in 5 minutes. Please don't leave. I really want to meet you." Kayla read the message twice. It sounded sincere enough. She texted back, "Okay, I'll wait. But just so you know, I have to leave by 9. I have an early class tomorrow." She hit send and waited for a response. None came. The waitress approached and asked if Kayla was ready to order. Kayla shook her head, explaining she was waiting for someone who was running late. Kayla forced a smile and said she would wait just a few more minutes. By 8:31 p.m., Kayla had made her decision. She had waited nearly 50 minutes. Even if Ethan showed up now, they would barely have time to eat before she needed to leave. She felt foolish for having gotten her hopes up. She paid for her water, left a generous tip for the patient waitress, and walked out of the restaurant. The security footage captured Kayla exiting through the side door at 8:33 p.m. She walked across the parking lot toward her Honda, her phone in her hand, her shoulders slightly slumped in disappointment. And that is when her life changed forever. As Kayla approached her car and reached into her purse for her keys, the black sedan's headlights suddenly turned on. The harsh beams flooded her vision, momentarily disorienting her. A figure emerged from the driver's side. He was tall, wearing dark clothing and a baseball cap pulled low over his face. He walked toward her quickly, purposefully. "Kayla?" the man called out. She froze. How did he know her name? "Kayla, it's me, Ethan. I'm so sorry I'm late. I just got here, and I saw you leaving." And he was closer now, close enough that she could see his face in the dim glow of the parking lot lights. But something was wrong. He did not look exactly like the photos from his profile. The eyes were different. The shape of his jaw was not quite right. "I don't think," Kayla started to say. But the man was already next to her, his hand on her arm. His grip was firm, too firm. "Please, just give me a chance to explain," he said. And she tried to pull away. "Let go of me," she said, her voice rising. But the parking lot was nearly empty now, and the few people who were around were too far away to hear or simply were not paying attention. The man's other hand moved to her waist, and he was pushing her now, not toward the restaurant, but toward his sedan. Kayla screamed. She dropped her purse and her phone, and she fought. She clawed at his face, drawing blood. She kicked at his shins. But he was stronger, and he had the element of surprise. Within seconds, he had forced her into the back seat of the black sedan. The door slammed shut. The security camera angle did not capture the interior of the vehicle, only the brief struggle outside, and then the car door closing. At 8:36 p.m., the black sedan pulled out of the parking lot and disappeared into the night. Kayla's Honda Civic remained where she had parked it. Her purse lay on the ground beside it. Her phone was face down on the asphalt. The screen cracked from the fall. At 9:47 p.m., Madison Torres began to worry. Kayla had promised to text by 9, and it was now almost 10. Madison sent a text. "Hey, you okay? How'd it go?" No response. She waited 5 minutes and tried calling. The call went straight to voicemail. Madison tried again. Voicemail again. The knot of worry in her stomach tightened. Madison made the decision to call the police. She explained to the dispatcher that her roommate had gone on a date with someone she met online, had promised to check in, and had not been heard from in over 3 hours. The dispatcher took down the information but explained that an adult being out of contact for a few hours did not constitute an emergency. Madison was not satisfied, but she did not know what else to do. Unable to sleep, Madison decided to drive to the Olive Branch restaurant herself. She arrived at the parking lot at 12:17 a.m. It was mostly empty now, the restaurant having closed at 11. But under the harsh glow of the parking lot lights, Madison saw something that made her heart stop. Kayla's gray Honda Civic parked exactly where it had been hours earlier. Madison pulled up beside it and got out. She peered through the windows. Kayla was not inside. The car doors were locked. There was no sign of damage or struggle inside the vehicle. Then Madison saw the purse on the ground. She picked it up with shaking hands and opened it. Kayla's wallet was inside, along with her ID, credit cards, and cash. Madison's vision blurred with tears. Kayla would never leave her purse behind. Something terrible had happened. Madison immediately called 911 again, this time from the parking lot. She explained that she had found her roommate's car abandoned with her belongings scattered on the ground. This time, the dispatcher took her seriously. Within 15 minutes, 2 Milwaukee Police Department patrol officers arrived on the scene. Officer David Chen and Officer Sarah Mitchell secured the area and began taking Madison's statement. Madison explained everything: the date with the man from Hinge, the promise to check in, the hours of silence, and now the abandoned car. Officer Chen radioed for a detective and a forensic team. This was no longer a simple missing person case. This was a suspected abduction. Detective Laura Chen arrived at the Olive Branch parking lot at 1:43 a.m. on October 4th. She was a 15-year veteran of the Milwaukee Police Department, specializing in violent crimes and abductions. She walked the scene methodically, photographing Kayla's car, the purse, and the cracked phone lying several feet away. She noted the positions of the security cameras and immediately requested all available footage from the restaurant. She also began canvassing nearby businesses for additional camera angles. Madison provided Detective Chen with access to Kayla's social media accounts and dating app profiles. Within an hour, Detective Chen had pulled up Ethan Ward's Hinge profile and was reviewing his messages with Kayla. Everything seemed normal on the surface. Polite conversation, mutual interests, a suggestion to meet at a public place. But Detective Chen's instincts told her something was off. She ran a reverse image search on Ethan's profile photos. The results made her blood run cold. The photos were stolen from a fitness influencer's Instagram account. The man Kayla had been talking to was not Ethan Ward. The profile was fake. The person behind it was a predator. Detective Chen immediately contacted Hinge's legal department, requesting all available data on the account, including IP addresses, device information, and payment methods. While waiting for that data, she turned her attention to the phone number Ethan had used to text Kayla. It was a burner phone, purchased with cash at a convenience store in Racine, Wisconsin, about 30 miles south of Milwaukee. By sunrise on October 4th, the case had been escalated to a full-scale investigation. Kayla's face was all over local news. Her family had been notified. Her mother, Angela Mercer, drove up from Chicago in a state of hysteria. Angela held a press conference outside the Milwaukee Police Department, tearfully pleading for anyone with information to come forward. "My baby girl is out there somewhere," Angela sobbed, clutching a photo of Kayla. "If you know anything, please help us bring her home." On October 5th, a delivery driver named Brian Kowalski saw Kayla's face on the news and felt a jolt of recognition. He had been making a late delivery to a business adjacent to the Olive Branch restaurant on the night of October 3rd. While walking back to his van around 8:30 p.m., he had noticed something unusual in the parking lot. A man was helping a woman into the passenger side of a black sedan. The woman seemed unsteady, almost limp. At the time, Kowalski had assumed she was drunk and the man was her boyfriend taking her home. But now, seeing Kayla's face, he realized he might have witnessed her abduction. Kowalski's statement was detailed and credible. He described the man as white, approximately 6 feet tall, wearing dark clothing and a baseball cap. He also provided a crucial detail. The black sedan had a dented rear bumper on the driver's side. This was the first solid lead Detective Chen had received. She immediately pulled up the restaurant's security footage and began reviewing it frame by frame, this time focusing not on Kayla, but on the black sedan. The footage confirmed Kowalski's account. At 7:43 p.m., a black 2011 Dodge Charger had pulled into the lot and parked near Kayla's Honda. The driver remained in the vehicle for over 40 minutes. At 8:34 p.m., he exited, approached Kayla, and within 2 minutes, had forced her into his car. The license plate was partially visible in several frames. Digital enhancement revealed enough characters to run a search. DKM 4371. Detective Chen ran the plate through the Wisconsin DMV database. The result sent a chill down her spine. The vehicle was registered to Ethan Lucas Ward, 29 years old, address listed as a duplex in Racine, Wisconsin. Detective Chen pulled Ethan Lucas Ward's criminal record. He had a history. 2 arrests in Illinois for domestic battery, both involving ex-girlfriends. One victim had suffered a broken jaw. She dropped the charges after Ward repeatedly contacted her from jail. Detective Chen obtained a search warrant for Ward's residence. On the morning of October 6th, armed officers surrounded the duplex in Racine. Detective Chen knocked loudly, announcing their presence. There was no response. The tactical team breached the door. The duplex was empty. Ward was gone. But what the officers found inside made it clear that Kayla's abduction had been meticulously planned. In the bedroom, investigators discovered a corkboard covered with photographs of young women, all appearing to be in their 20s. Kayla's face was among them, circled in red marker. He had followed her for 3 weeks before making contact. He knew where she lived, what time she went to classes, where she worked part-time. He had mapped out her entire routine. In the basement, the evidence became even more damning. Duct tape, zip ties, a camping tarp with dark stains, and cleaning supplies. Luminol testing revealed the stains were blood. Most chilling of all, investigators found Kayla's driver's license wedged between the couch cushions. She had been here. And based on the evidence, it was unlikely she was still alive. A nationwide manhunt was issued for Ethan Lucas Ward. His photo was distributed to every law enforcement agency in the country. The FBI joined the investigation. For 3 days, there was nothing. Then, on October 12th, a gas station attendant in Missoula, Montana, recognized Ward from a wanted poster. She called police. By the time officers arrived, Ward had left, but his car was spotted on a nearby highway. A pursuit ensued. Spike strips were deployed. Ward's tires were shredded. The Charger skidded to a stop. Ward attempted to flee on foot, but was tackled within seconds. He was arrested, screaming and cursing. Ward's notebook contained references to several locations. One entry included GPS coordinates pointing to an abandoned industrial site in Waukesha County. On October 9th, Detective Chen and a team descended on the location. Cadaver dogs were brought in. Within an hour, they found Kayla Mercer's body in a shallow grave. She had been dead for approximately 5 days. The medical examiner confirmed she had been strangled within hours of her abduction. Faced with overwhelming evidence, Ward's attorney advised a plea deal. On November 15th, Ethan Lucas Ward pled guilty to first-degree intentional homicide, kidnapping, and abuse of a corpse. He was sentenced to life in prison without parole. During the sentencing hearing, Kayla's mother read a victim impact statement. "You are a coward," Angela said, staring at Ward. "You targeted my daughter because you thought she was vulnerable. We will remember Kayla every day, and you will rot in a cell, forgotten and despised." Kayla's case prompted significant changes in online dating safety protocols. Platforms implemented verification systems and real-time location sharing features. Kayla Mercer's family established a scholarship fund in her name. Her story has been featured in countless safety seminars and true crime discussions. She became her own last witness, and her voice ensured that Ethan Ward would never harm another woman again.